discretion is advised.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're out here in the airgun bunker, and today I'm going to give you guys a close look at the new PARD Optics Nightstalker 4K. Now this is a scope that essentially takes over for the popular DS35. It's an updated unit that has a better quality CMOS sensor, which is going to give you less pixelation at magnification, and it's going to give you a much better image quality. Now I have used this quite extensively. I've taken it on a lot of hunting trips in the past months. So I'm going to pass that information on to you guys. I'll show you some of the features. I'll show you how I've used them. And I'll give you guys some feedback, from somebody that goes out and actually uses these products. I don't just pull stuff out of a box. I want to use stuff for a while. I want to be able to learn it and really be able to share that with you guys. The Nightstalker 4K 7850 LRF comes in at 1.4 pounds. The overall length is 13.5 inches, and it does have 100 millimeters of long eye relief. This does have the 4K CMOS sensor with high resolution, which is 3840 by 2160, and it is compatible with 128 gig cards. This does have a built-in rangefinder with ballistic calculator, and the price comes in at just under $1,000. Now that we've taken a look at some of the stats, I'm going to go through the menu with you guys, and then I'll kind of show you how I've used it out in the field, and that'll give you guys a better idea of the image quality and whether or not it's going to work for your situation. To turn the PARD on and off, you've got your button here off to the left side that you hold down for a few seconds, and that's going to boot up the unit, and you're going to do the same to turn it off. To get into the menu, you're going to long press the top cap. The first adjustment here is your ballistic calculator. You can click that again. That's going to open it up. This is where you're able to get into your ballistic data and create different profiles depending on which rifle you have this scope mounted to. This is an example. You can see the velocity, the bullet weight, the bullet BC, the altitude, temperature, scope height, zero range, and the shape and color. Your next one here is range unit selection. You can pick yards or meters. Next one is picture-in-picture mode, and this is not something that I use that often. I keep it off. Essentially, it's just a small little box that's going to pop up on the top center part of your screen, and it's going to be a magnified view of your point of aim. And I usually keep that off, but you can manually turn that on by double tapping on the top cap. Next one is reticle adjustment. Getting into this menu, you're able to easily zero the gun with one shot. You can just fire into a piece of paper, and then you're going to adjust that little X into the point of impact, and you're going to hit save. And on top of that, you can also switch between different style reticles, kind of depending on what you're shooting and what your preference is. I usually go with style number 1. And you can also change the colors as well, from red, white, yellow, green, and I typically have it on red. I found that to work pretty well, and then you can just save that, and that's going to be saved into your profile. The next is your gyroscope, and by calibrating this, that's going to essentially tell you the direction you're facing, and it's also going to give you your cant. which is super important to have for longer range shooting in terrain where you might be kind of off camber. Next is your default magnification, and that's going to be if you turn the unit off and you turn it back on, you can either have it at the higher power 11.2 or the 5.6. I usually keep it on the lowest power magnification. Next one is brightness of IR. You can manually set that as a default, which I'd suggest if you're going to do that, maybe 1 or 2. 3 seems to be pretty bright. Next is default color. I usually, during the day obviously have color, but you can also change, it's going to be black and white like it is now for typical night use. You can also go to yellow. You can go to green. It might be just dependent on your situation and what you're comfortable with. This is your display brightness. I usually have it at level 3. Auto power off. I keep that off, but you can adjust it to where this unit is going to shut off 1 minute, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. I like to have control over that, so I keep it off. Auto recording, I keep that off. I manually turn that on and off. This is the loop recording. Basically that's going to be how much video it's going to take at one time. Self-activated recording, I keep that off, but you can turn that on and you can adjust the sensitivity. For airgun use, you'd probably want it on high. Date and timestamp, I keep that off. Record audio, I keep that on. Wi-Fi, this is going to be if you're going to connect to your smartphone with the app. You can download all your images and video, and you can also check it from there. Exposure, I usually keep that at 0, but you can make adjustments to that depending on your situation during day or night. Icon display, I keep everything on. This is format. This is what you'd use to format your card in here. Default setting, you can always go back to the factory settings. And this is your version. That's going to give you all the information on what model you have for any kind of firmware update. Up top of the unit you do have 4 buttons, and this forward left button, that's going to be for your day-night mode. You're going to hold that down, and that's going to switch between day and night mode. And that's also, if you click it again, that's going to adjust your brightness of the IR. Off to the right side here, the forward right button, that's where your recording is, depending on how you have it set up. If you want to take pictures or video, you hold that down for a couple seconds and it's going to start recording. The rear left button back here is for your rangefinder. You're going to click that once and that's going to show you your range, and then you click it again and it's going to give you the correct holdover. You're going to see an X on the crosshairs where you're going to hold over, and that's going to be dependent on the perimeters that you set up for your rifle. Off to the right here is the Wi-Fi button, which you're going to hold down and you can use that to connect to your smartphone. You download the PARD app, and that's going to allow you to download images, videos, and be able to control that with your phone if you want to erase anything. But I don't usually mess with that because I use a 128 gig card which goes in here, and that records quite a bit. I've never filled it up. I pull it out, I download it into my computer, and then I reformat it once it's back in the unit. This does have 100 millimeters of eye relief, which is pretty long. If you guys do have this unit, it's really important to adjust this. It does have quite a bit of adjustment, more than I've seen on a lot of units. Now, as far as the IR light goes, you can adjust the direction of this. You can adjust the throw. I do like that feature. It's pretty helpful in situations where we're doing ratting. Or if we're set up for a bit longer range, like sometimes we do for coyote hunting, it's nice to have that adjustment. Now, This is the 850. They do make a 950. I haven't noticed any difference between the brightness of the two, but if you're hunting coyotes, I've noticed that sometimes the coyotes will see your IR light from a distance, and the 950 is probably a better choice if you're having that issue. You might want to go with that particular model. Out front here, you do have your focus ring. Now at various distances, you're going to want to focus the scope so you're going to get the best picture quality, very similar to a traditional style rifle scope. And it also has this cap right here which has a small hole in it, and that lets less light in. You're going to find with that cap closed, you're going to have less sensitivity with this adjustment here. You're going to have a wider range. But if you open up this cap, have more light coming in, that's especially useful in nighttime situations. You're going to really be able to focus this very detailed. Now, I've talked about this in a lot of my other videos with night vision. The IR lights really eat a lot of batteries. And so typically what I do in a situation where I'm sitting in a fixed stand where I'm not going to be moving around a lot, I will plug the unit directly into a power bank, and that way I'm able to go all night long. I don't have to worry about swapping out the 18650s. If you guys are going to pick out one of these cameras, I would suggest picking up a couple extra good quality batteries as well as a charger, because these do, eat quite a few batteries. Now, if you're going to be using this primarily during the day, which I do quite frequently, I use it for rabbit hunting, a lot of squirrel hunting, you can expect to get just about a full day's use out of one of these batteries because it's not running the IR light. But again, this is going to be dependent on the weather. Usually colder weather, lithium ion batteries don't do very well in the cold, and so you're going to expect to get less life out of them. And so keep that in mind. So this unit is very lightweight, and it very closely mimics a traditional style rifle scope, which I like. Really the only part that sticks out from it is the IR light and the rangefinder. Other than that, it's pretty compact, it's pretty slim. Now, as far as the features go, this unit is extremely easy to use. I've had a lot of experience using night vision, a lot of different models, a lot of different brands, and I'd say out of all of them, this is probably the easiest as far as a learning curve if you've never used one of these units. I like the fact that you can pretty much control everything with this top button here. This is actually how you're going to navigate through your menu. You can long press that, and you're going to use this to control that. And when the unit is in use, this is going to be for your magnification. Very easy, very smooth, and you can double tap that. That's going to open up your PIP screen. Really, my biggest complaint with this is during daytime use where we're hiking around, when we're not necessarily in a fixed position. It would be nice to have some kind of a remote button that you can use to activate the rangefinder, so you're not taking your hand off the rifle and having to click up on top here. That's really my only negative that I think they really should look at for future units. Maybe look at getting some kind of a remote switch that can be mounted on the rifle somewhere that's easy to be able to push with your finger. I've used a good majority of the PARD products, from their night vision units to their thermals, and they are of excellent quality, good fit and finish. They come with good components such as the scope rings, which are really important. It's nice to have precision stuff, especially when we're out hunting. You want something that's durable, you want something that's fairly lightweight and not very intrusive, because we want to be comfortable when we're out there in a hunting situation. And I really like these because they mimic a regular scope very closely. They're not cumbersome units, they're not large, they're not heavy. and they work really well. I found that if I set this up correctly with the right perimeters, the range finding ballistic calculator is usually always spot on. And I found this, you know, for a lot of the hunting that I do out for, you know, squirrels, where we're hunting at various different ranges, anywhere from 30 yards out beyond 100 yards. Having the ballistic calculator on here is really nice, really critical, and it's really fast. For a lot of the coyote hunting that I do, I'm usually always shooting in a set location. I'm usually within 100 yards, but some of the ratting that I do, you know, it's various ranges, you know, anywhere from 15 yards out to 40, 50 yards. And so it's really important to have your gun set up correctly. So I think really the biggest positives of a unit like this is the ease of use. It is very simple to operate, not much of a learning curve if you're not somebody that's familiar with technology. And now that I've been using it for a good couple months, it's pretty simple. And I think just about anybody could learn how to use it, but it's like anything, you got to get out there, you got to spend a little bit of time with it, practice with it, and it's important to do that, especially if you're going to be out using it in a hunting situation. Now, I did take this out over a couple days for an axis deer hunt. It was extremely hot, it was extremely humid, and I think it was really a good test of the durability of this, because we were going in some pretty rough terrain, and I was able to use it to harvest a 300-pound axis deer, which was probably one of the best hunts that I've done in my life. It was a lot of fun. It was nice to get out and do that, and this unit was definitely part of making that happen. Well guys, I really hope I was able to share in good detail my experience of using the PARD Nightstalker out in the field. You know, I have used it for a good couple months. You know, I really appreciate them sending me this and helping us out here with the channel to bring you guys content. As far as this unit goes, it's definitely something that I can recommend to you guys if you're into a serious unit, you know, for day or nighttime use. Having the built-in ballistic calculator is really useful. I like the fact that it is compact, it's lightweight, and it's really simple to use. And I don't think you can really go wrong with this at the price point. As far as, you know, any complaints, you know, I think I would like to see them make, you know, maybe a 1x5, and I would like to see them add some kind of a remote to be able to click the rangefinder, so you're not having to take your hands off of the rifle. I think that would be especially useful for some of their future products. But let me know in the comments if you guys have any experience with these. I'm curious to know. I really appreciate you guys watching. I will leave links in the description for you guys if you're interested, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you guys enjoy these videos, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you like. We put out new videos every week. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.